So I think it's me. Hi. I'm sorry if I did disappear a long time, and yeah, I should explain what happened. So hi, welcome back. And yes, if you might question me, what happened? So how to start? How did I disappear at the first place? Well, first off, let me be honest with you. The lack of my mobility of my time was only because I used a lot of time on the phone. And I used to do a lot of things, like going around the house and everything. And I was like, yeah, I was like that. But in ways of everything that you all want me to explain, what happened to me? Well, here's the story. So throughout the time with for New Year's happened, and yes, New Year's did happen somehow. It's been a while that that one stuff was going around here and trying my best to defer. It's been 1 month since I didn't upload nothing. And yes, I guess it's understand that you people were radar, but in case of everyday, look at of that subscribers in the guy. I think of you 13 subscribers about this. I am very appreciative. Like we actually I'm very happy that you understand this channel because this channel is basically for you all to understand what I'm doing. And I suppose like this is the channel I am supposed to try to talk about. Because since the days of the first video when he had like 36 viewers, I was like, man, do I need to continue? And I was like, yes, I should continue. Now, I understand that you all were asking what happened to me. Well, it was busy for college because college was what is one of those important things they should do before YouTube, and I was like I was like this thing this was me before. Like I used to be very motivated and talkative, and I'm here just being mature and growing up to become something else. Like I'm not into this record. Like disregard me of being around YouTube. I was like, the YouTube economy is growing, and I think it's getting there. So what am I explaining here is that I am so sorry that you all were kind of like, I don't know, maybe you never heard of me, or maybe you might talk about why I'm not doing it anymore. It's because of my lackness of laybacks and myself, and basically for college. And first of all, college was my number one priority before YouTube. And I am very much cautious about it. And I am. Like, I have to work so hard to do this. Like, I had to work. Like, really gotta work. And what I did, I was like going around and just thinking about what I'm doing. And what I'm doing here is that I was going around talking about myself when I used to, like, you used to do a lot of things. You understand? You do a lot of things in life, but in case of everything, I was trying my best to be normal until I take it off. Like everybody else has a one thing about in life, it's a shadow between one angel and one yourself. Now, why do I say that? For instance, it's because like us, we live in as a shadow because we all never become good. Like you are good, you do good stuff. Then again, you have a shadow. At first, I thought like maybe that shadow still clinging on me. And turns out the shadow was kind of truthful. Now, in truth, I did know that I am very much laid back a lot of things. And yeah, people were asking why I do that laybacks. And since I do laybacks, I just understand you all people want me to just get over a wall and everything, but it just feels like it's not even simple. like the most simplest thing I could do is just be around you and just talk about my life and myself and my whole entire time what I'm doing. And here I am, like here in my boots and here in my home where dad and this. And because since you all were asking about it, I was like, yes. The time when I actually did stuff is that I used to do a lot of things like I'm doing for the support of the family. However, I'm not being too productive, and I think it was understandable that it's difficult to between two lines in between one. Like you are your character as yourself, but you're not even that freedom. It really, really hurts. Like I don't know. It feels like you were your character, and then you just don't know what you're just supposed to do. Because here I am being productive and being myself. Like I don't know. I could be productive. I could be not, and it's like I don't have the mood and don't have to cry. And people could judge about it. Like I'm not a judge guy. I'm not a none of a judge guy. I am not one for my family. Never. Because they all have their reasons and they have their character. Like, if someone had to say that you want to play a suicide, then you're just gonna tell me a good reason, and we could just judge you what you're doing. Like, everybody out there can be judgeable by the look and the attitude and the actions with them. And for me, I don't judge the looks or the actions based on what you're doing. I'm judging a little bit of the attitude and the signals of what are you trying to say or what you're trying to make me do. Because let me be honest with you. Have you ever people thought about that listening is optional? A lot of people don't think, but it was necessary. But people think it's like it's not optional, but it is for me. Like really for me, it's listening is optional. Like, let's be honest here. The thing about listening is that it's the hardest part inside of us. It's like it's the most hardest thing, most already everything, and most hardest the fact that is look, the hardest thing about listening is when you want to listen. Well, I could listen because I listen too much, but I don't want to listen because then again I could consider. Now, a lot of people think like you could consider this and that in the same time. Like you consider your options because you have a decision. You either try to listen and might consider in the end, and then your consider is gonna give you your answers. Either you'd say a no, and then you wanna, well, let's say people might take it too offensively because you said no. They take offensive. For me, if I was saying, well, no, then they took offense on me. But I'm saying my reason saying no is that my reason is that I have a decision that said no. And if they have their decision of saying no, then they have their decisions. I am 100% with you, people. Really, 100%. If you're a fan or a stranger watching my video, I am not a guy who judges the people. I do judge the actions of what they're based on if the people are very agree on what they're based on. Like I don't know the image. Like the really I don't know the image. Like you only get to see a background of what you think. Like you think about the background. First off, think about this. People could judge you and insult you. First, it's hurting. You don't want to stand for it. You want to stand up and be the right man for this. First, con and pro, you make yourself a first expression of not to be messed with. That is a good point of being yourself, being self centered, and be tough. However, the con of that is that you actually, let's say, make like image, well, let's say you make image depending of your own. Now, the reason why I say that is because look, we all could be tough. We all can. We had to be tough. In life, you say that you're something, but you're not. And I think I disagree a lot because let me be honest with you. If you were weak, it doesn't mean you're nothing. It doesn't mean you should be nothing. It doesn't mean you have to be a lonely vessel out the street. You are a character that may be taking this path, and look what happened to all those results that you took in the poor. And that's where I think like if our actions causes us like this, then it's hard to realize that both side of it, like when we're in the gray and then we're just not going the right way, it just feels like it's not easy. And the reason why it's not easy is because we're not being ourselves and we're not being taking a good decision. Like your mindset, right? You going this way, but they have the rights to make you go this way. Now, for my ways of how I've been through in this life, I was like playing myself, like being the layback here. And yeah, I am a could be a layback, but I'm not trying to be that disrespectful. And it could happen. It could happen. Like people think you're doing something and they don't see. Like myself, like one time I have this situation and I'm not judging you. If you're watching Father, I'm not judging your actions. I understood what your concerns are. Now, here's the thing. What happened is I was trying my best to do something like a list of gaining resources. If I meant to say resources, I meant to say going to the mall and try to get some supplies because during the past we have during the I would say Sunday we have to get our resources and we got it. We got resource, we got food, we got everything. But for me, I had to take time to not wash the dishes. Now, the reason why I don't wash the dish at the first place is because I had to took the time to get up the list. Now, let's be honest here. If you are serious in your attitude by, let's say, you're trying to be serious here. Now, you're being serious, and I hate it, but I can't change you. I cannot change you, but you're affecting me into it because I don't want to be like you. Because it feels like you're like it's a thing. It's like people think you are pushing. And I don't push. I don't get mad at people because people think they're different. Now I think I understand. My dad is different from me. I think like, maybe it's a hard thing. Like you have to consider is that you consider those things like you're good, but then again you're not good. Like if you're perfect, then that's just your biased pride. And I'm fine with your thing, but you're not getting on the into the life where we're going. Like, why are you saying you're perfect? Well, I'll be honest. If you heard this one thing, is that being perfect meant to say something like you are now. You're not have no mistakes, no grudge, no nothing. You being yourself. You feel like you're a perfect vessel. But here's the kicker. I believe it at once. And what the stories mean for being perfect was that the mistakes we made in the past or the future in our life, in the past is history. We never be perfect in the past. But when we're in the future, like we're in the present right now, because the future is a mystery, the past is the history, and here we are a present. Now today is the gift. That's what it calls the present. Thank you for Campobetta for the Uruguay. You know. Now, hear me out. The real reason why I say this is because I live in a world where we live in a world where we actually get affected by this left and right criminality things. Like we're living in a world where at the streets, you're starting to realize that in America, there'll never be a good time for them. And people were actually changing like little by little because the criminality rates to the murdering spree and the crimes of like we actually heard today the chaos over there in Mexico. And from my opinion, I am feeling so bad for there because my mom is there. And my mom is my concern because my mom is over there in Mexico. But she's safe because I know she's on Jalisco. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Jalisco and J. I'm saying Jalisco and X. There's two Jaliscos, either the state or either the first. So let me show you what Jalisco I meant to say. Now, this is where I meant to say. If you put like this, like Jalisco and Nayarit, this is what it is for Jalisco. This is the smallest part of a state that you might understand because this is the smallest thing that my mom lives. This is where my mom lives. And the reason why my mom lives here is because she lives in the, right here in the group. Like if you actually put the J over here and then you put J, then you're saying like this. Like you're saying Jalisco. Now, that is where you find this. This is where you find Jalisco from the peak. This is where Jalisco was because people were asking like, where is Jalisco? Well, let me tell you, where is it? Where is it? So, like, this is Jalisco right here. This is the part where you're finding there. This is the place that where over here, this is a place that we're saying a part of a state. Right here, we get the X. Now, reason why I said we get the X here is because the X here is where my mom lives. Now, my mom lives here, over here to the peak. And from here, we get to here, to over here, and then go over downstairs. Now, my opinion here, I feel better. I feel better that my mom is safe. My mom is safe and sound, and I am appreciated that my mom is safe. Now, the reason why I am trying to say this because I'll be honest with you. Only be honest with you. The reason I care about my mom is because mom has a family over there and mom stayed over there in Mexico. Now, my history of what I'm doing here is that why am I here grown up in the United States? Now, we have a history. During since way back, I was born here with my my full brother, Eider, and he's my full brother. I have two half siblings, and you know, um, we have a half sister, and it was kind of like a mystery. That's what my dirt half family said, and it's just like, yeah, she's a mystery, and I guess it's understandable. But hear me out. What happened here is that we have a family right here, grand ass family, and we have like his histories. And the reason why we say histories, I'm meant to say that we have a history between the perspective of what did we endure. Now, where I was in this part, well, being in the part of in Miami, I was born here in Miami by a city that was kind of like a low cheap way because in 2005 where we were in the modern world it was like, let's say, like this in the way so I'm gonna show you guys before I turn on the current in 2205. Let's see, let me show you what happened here. So right here, and then you start with the city. Now, this is supposed to be the city before in 20. Right here, we have low cities since 2005 in September. We have this low cities because since they were like small cities and small states, that is from, let's say, in the modern time where we're living in. Like in 2005, I'm here in Miami, and the reason why I was born here in Miami is because is because I was like, let's say, it was say I'm like right here is this is what I was, and this is like this is the past. Basically, I was in the past, and we have there were small cities. If you all are here and familiar that you're born here and you were born like below or forward, like back like the two tens or to the like the 2000s to the 2010s 2010s, you're actually living in the world where you see small buildings while they grow up. Now growth in the economy is something, and we actually think like, yeah, we are going to be afraid of changing. Now what's my character on this point? Now, the point is that Miami isn't a place that I think it's good. I think it's actually a good place for me to just think about it, dude. Like, think about this. If you actually live in Miami and then you live like in the beach, it's a city of a beach, but you're going to Tampa or you're going to Orlando or you're going somewhere. Like, if you're in the state of Florida, then you're in the state where you're in the South. And I took some history class in high school and even college, and they told me the history here in Miami that in Coral Gables there were mostly white people than black people in segregation day, and I was like, damn. Not even though, like, I don't feel racist because of how you actually say, like, you want to say something like the N word and then you're just like being racist. Now, I'm not saying the N word because I think you all people heard enough and it's offensive and it's not even funny. It's not even good. It's not even that very, not very nice to say. And you said you don't want to say that. Like, don't get encouraged when they people say it because a lot of people say on the old times, they say the N word and they got away because when YouTube was released, it was always a golden age of the past. Now they put a new age here, and in the new age, it was kind of mediocre, in my opinion. Like I'm not saying it's mediocre; it's because like the changes. There were like a lot of changes, a lot of things happened, and we lost a lot of things. Like you lost a lot of clubs, we lost a lot of things. They have new rules that we have to be prepared to make sure we don't demonetize the children because we are saying languages, right? And I get it. It's really, 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 really important because you know why we actually need to say the not saying the bad words and saying somehow we do is because look, the reason why what happened is because we live in the world where we live in and we are changing a lot of things. Like there are so many contents that we are doing. And what we're doing is that we're looking for new games on mobile to computers and even everything. Now, my opinion here in life is that in life you're supposed to say like you're going around and being around like in YouTube because you are feeling like you're good. But then again, you're not good in YouTube because you don't know what happened, you don't know what changes, and you don't know what else can happen. Like as a kid, I love to become a YouTuber. Like I really am imagining myself as a YouTuber as a kid. I was so creative until it wasn't that mode. And here I am because dad built this studio. He built this. He built everything. He built the studio here. Right here is the current and the speakers and everything. It was forgot. And here's dad, of course. Sorry, dad's calling. Hola, padre. Bien, en vivo en YouTube. Aquí está la llamada para todos. Si quieres hablar por todos.
Muy bien. Hola a los amigos tuyos, a la gente que está haciendo el envío. Que sea un tema provechoso, un tema que ayude a comunicar con los demás y que los demás entiendan que todos somos uno. Gracias, mi niño. Mi papi está trabajando, me falta un viajecito más. Inmediatamente que termine, voy contigo, ¿ok?
Ok,
Saluda a
es
toda la
que
gente.
está descongelando la pollo ahí porque ya falta un
Tranquilo,
poquito.
tranquilo, eso ni lo mencione. ¿Qué tal el micrófono? ¿Bien?
La microsa sí sirve, la que te pusiste de la hanger, sí, ya está sirviendo bien y la cámara está encendida y todo, so no hay ningún problema.
Dale, mi rey. Un
Dale,
besito. Te amo. Love you.
love you. Yeah, that's my dad for you guys. It's really my dad. He was the one who supported me throughout this situation. Now, when did I came here in Miami? My journey with dad and my brother was a wild ride, and the reason why I say it was a wild ride is because let me tell you something. Why there was some drama and some left and right disagreements, and we actually had to fight those disagreements. Now, don't get me wrong, you have the right to becoming the vessel of your own. We're all one of a mortal that have everything as a vessel. We're always like that. But in ways of what we're doing, it's just it feels so hard. Like let's say you're doing something good, and in the end you're not doing good. Because let's be honest, you went to go to church. Now I go to church with my brother because he invite me in every Sunday, and I have no problem. There's no problem when I go to church. I never have a problem to go to church. Like the only thing I don't really like about the church is because you actually need to listen and be like you have to be disciplinary for that. Now, yes, discipline is a thing that is hard to maintain in balance. Like let's say you want to be yourself, so you don't want to be perfect. Well, discipline makes you perfect, but it doesn't make you feel like you want to be perfect. The reason why I say this is because we are never going to be perfect in a life. Like we all have their pros and cons, and in the church, the pros on there is that in church there were reasons why we need to go because of religion, because the Catholics, the type of church you're going, and that's okay. Like my brother invite me in the church, and when I say I will go, I will go. Like, look, my brother did not spend a long time with me in the past when I was this age. Not in this age, but at like 18-year old and 19-year old. He never spent time with me. He had to go to work. And I respect his work. I respect his decisions. I respect their decision. I respect what you think. But you can't just judge me by thinking differently, by not doing the right thing in life. Like I have to do good stuff, and then in the end, you're not doing it. And like I was like, maybe we're all never come perfect. And I was like, yeah, you could be a good guy because we're all never gonna be perfect in the street. Well, they think yeah, you could be perfect because you don't want to look down your hopes, but in reality. That's what you're saying. You're saying to yourself that you're perfect, which is a good thing to maintain your hopes up. But in for me, for where I'm at, I want to look at reality. I want to look at something like I want to open my eyes and see what happened. That's called sovereignty. Now, I don't say it well because it's a word I'm learning. Like let me show you. Hold on. So let me show you what's meant for sovereignty. So here it goes. Sorry for the graphics. Sorry, my fine. Sovereign sovereignty. Now, here it goes. Sovereignty. Sovereignty. Now, sovereignty is a type of, let's say, the supreme independent authority of state governor, control territory, and laws making out interference. Like, this is a definition that you might find in Google. And if you don't understand what it means for why this had to be connected to me to the church, is because you want to be in reality. Like, let's say that if I am very creative and I love to role play somehow because I am a creative person because it makes me feel fun. And I do fun with myself, even though huh, there was some disagreement in the past and there's some calls that I will not let it slide. So here's my explanation. You see, if I was in the BCE from the first century of the era where Jesus was born, if I was like somewhere born there and I was something that is supposedly important as a paneling of a pathfinder, like I want to be a fallen knight of a pathfinder. Like you have a fallen knight of oath, means you have an oath that was broken and shattered because you have a trauma in the past. And if you were like a fallen pathfinder as a combined as the knight, then you are a vessel of one thing. You're teaching something. Now, your character might be dark, but however, you have a reason why you become dark. Now, let me be honest with you. So let's see if you all people understand this. If you were in like when you heard about Jesus' teachings, Jesus' teachings was actually the thing I ever done. And since I do that, I was like, I want to have fun, make myself creative, talk to AI, like not talking like a real person, like a dumbass, but I want to talk to AI because I want to, you know, be fine with it. I want to be like there, like Google, like, or I want, like, if I were like putting ChatGPT, I was like, I've never used ChatGPT to be honest, guys. I never do it because let me be honest with you. There were some moments that people don't agree on AIs because people were like, they're not agreeing of what the hell there is. Like, if there was like Jesus teachings, it was like those things. Now, here's the thing. So let's say if I say this, like, if I am curious of what is Jesus teaching, teach, what is Jesus taught, teach children of of his of his. Now, here's the thing: when you go here, and then they explain to you what did he taught you, and then when you are a fallen knight, becoming something else, like let's say this: I'm very violent human, so like here goes, here goes. So look at what I'm doing. So here's the thing: what teaches Johnson? God loved them deeply, which is be kind, be gentle, be loving, which is good. Trust God is simple on his heart. Do the right thing, do what is right, even when it's hard, which is good. Love your neighbor. God's kingdom belongs to children, which is basically what Jesus taught them. Like this is what Jesus taught them in the past time in the first century, and it's a thing. Like we think about Christianity, and it's like if you think about it, like you start at like as a kid, I love Christianity at Mexico, but when I grew up and Dad told me the realization about why I should not trust them, I realized the first intention I ever got in my mind is that is the truthful meaning that you want to be into a you want to see it a realism than idealism. Like you want to open your eyes and don't think like you're doing, like you're playing illusion. Now, that's the thing. I'm not being bad. I'm not being bad, you guys. I'm not being bad for the church. I'm not doing that. I'm just being honest with you because in reality, you don't know. Like you're being manipulated by the church, even though they're good. Like it's hard to believe it. Like, let me tell you this. Here's the thing if I were teaching you right here. So yeah, I'll allow a microphone.
Welcome back again.
As a fallen pathfinder in the first century, a knight who has abandoned a rigid oath for war wandering ground reality, your approach will be that. So tell me, if I was a fallen knight of oath slash as a fallen, no, like a fallen pathfinder, what do I teach children in a RPG if I was in the first century? That's it. And yeah, it's not working. So let me be honest with you guys. It's not working. It's not. It's like when I use microphone, it was not good. So can I tell you a question that may be understandable? Yeah, I think that was just a waste of time. Like really, I was like using AI, but so here's the thing. Well, let me teach you. Since the RPG, I used to use Google AI to know what's the reason about it if I was in an RPG, and now here it comes. So look at this way, and I'm going to express it. So here it goes. So here's the first teaching. So what do I teach children if I was in an RPG in the first century as a fallen knight to a fallen pathfinder? So as a fallen pathfinder in the first century, a knight who has abandoned a rigid oath for more wandering ground reality, your approach to children will likely shift from divine idealism to rugged survival and self-reliance, which is basically like you want to be realistic. If Jesus taught them to be humble and dependent on God, you would teach them to be aware and severe and serving over themselves. So here's what it looks like. So the lesson number one they say here from what I think is said, and it may be understandable why, is that the lesson of the map, not the destination. While Jesus taught the way, a spiritual path to a kingdom, you teach children to read the world as it is. Your motive isn't to lead them to a specific heaven, but to ensure they were never lost in the here and now. The teaching of that is that the path isn't a line drawn by the king or a god. It's the dirt under your fingernails. Trust your eyes and not promise the road ahead. Which is basically like let's say you're not believing on the you don't need to believe what you're thinking. Like you don't need a guide. You have to look for yourself and think about that little specific line that you don't want to look at what is ahead. You have to look where you're at because somehow it's a object that you don't want to be self-reliant. Like if I was there, yeah, I would just teach them about realism. Like in realistically, you can't just blind them and think about God was going to help them. Like we don't know about God. Well, we know about why He created us if we believe on them. Like I believe on them, but I don't in the same time because I'm not sure. I was unaware. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm not saying that anything. If you think about it, don't. Because I'm not saying that I'm not going into Jesus. I'm saying that I don't know if I should understood. Like the trust on me was that I don't know if that's true. Because in the church, we always been that way. And I understand that we all did that. Like you are supposed to be Christianity and it's fine. It's really fine. It's like you're doing well. Like you're supposed to be well. Like you are fine. You're supposed to be good. You're supposed to be like left and right. Like you're supposed to have like this Christianity inside you. But then again, you want to look at the realization. Because in realistically, let's say this realistically, you have to understand that in the world, you don't are not perfect in a world where you live in where all of them are your mortals. We all could be a good kind soul, but in the end, in the background where we don't see their good, like taking off their mask, you see the bad things. And that's why I think like it's true. We don't see a good thing, but we don't see a bad thing. And they tell stories. For me, what I do for stories, I listen and just don't understand it much. Because let me be honest, what changed my perspective was that I'm not being the bad guy here. I'm not saying that I'm bad because I don't think of Christianity. I don't think about religion. I don't think about that. I'm not that person. I think about their types. I'm fine with their religion, their thing about stories. What I don't understand is if there are very much true and don't play in your minds because you don't want to make sure you self-reflect yourself like you're talking to yourself in a mirror and you're like you are the good guy because you're believing in God. That's what I feel like. Maybe that's why we all become good. But then again, I want to be realistic because the whole world ain't good. Like we live in a world of chaos, like Mexico that got in the incinerating of the fire. Like Australia got in the same situation like that, and like that is me. Like right there, it's the hardest part, and it's something. It's really something. And I'm not saying it because I do not like it. I'm saying it because I now understood that in the world we're living in is where we always fail. Like we all become kind. We could be. You're supposed to love. You're supposed to do. Like you're supposed to have whatever is your life. It's okay. It's okay. It's always your life. Your life is your life. Your decisions is your decision. Your consequences comes by, and that's your consequences. I don't judge people. I never do. I never judge an angel. I never judge somebody who's bad. I don't have to judge. They have their own ways of life. The consequences come by, and that's it. That's all they have to do. If you're supposed to be prepared for your consequence, okay, you're supposed to be prepared, and now you have to understand your consequence. If you're not supposed to be aware about your consequence, then you're gonna have to be a slip up, and that's it. Your consequence will come true, and maybe it might ruin you. It may not ruin you physically, but it may ruin you something like you are affecting to the channel. Like you're feeling like it's a domino effect. It's a domino effect. Like if you imagine this, you're doing something bad. It creates a domino effect to you and the other people who you trust. If you are fine, then it's possibly you're taking this balancedly. I'm not saying that this is good. I'm saying this is hard. Like, I'm not saying that the world is bad. You know what? If I were thinking of you and saying that this is the world where we live in, we're living in a world where we're starting to think like maybe it's easy for us to think as you. Like, you wish to become something like you wanted them to listen to you. You wanted them to understood you, right? And I understand. You want them to think as you. They want you to think as them. It would be most simple, but it's never as freedom. Because thinking of like them, it's not even freedom. It's like self-reflecting and becoming like you. It's something that you say like you're just somehow a puppet in strings by because you're changing your mind to be like them. And it's not easy. I'm not becoming nobody. I'm not becoming my brother. I'm not becoming my dad. I want to become myself, even though I am not good or not bad. I'm not good. I'm fine. I'm just a decent 20-year-old kid that I am, just fine with this life. And I let them do whatever they want. I let my dad do what he wants. I let my friends of my dad do whatever he wants. I let everybody who wants. I just don't know what's the right image. And it's hard to believe which is the right image because everywhere you go, a lot of decision comes to consequences and your story reflects. My perspective, try to be yourself and it's fine to be yourself because you are your character, you are yourself, you are yourself as your life is. And many people may not accept you who you are, but the one who finds acceptance to you, you have to try to make sure you find the right things. You have to look for trust. Make sure you don't feel like you're being used because now they trust you, but you have to look deeper. You have to find something. You have to find that in life you're in a gray area. You find an angel in yourself. Like I'm not believing in angels. We're all mortals. We don't believe in angels. We don't believe in devils. We're all mortals in the one part as a dark heart. Because everyone has a dark heart as one. And it's always okay like that. Okay? It's always okay. So for this video, I'm back and yeah. In this YouTube, I'm actually talk a lot of this and I talk about why I've disappeared, how I was busy, how being my reason, being laid back from the phone to the games and everything, and that's what's me. I am the laid back person who could slack off. Like if everybody slack off, it may be like unproductive, but it's also you have to maintain like you have to make sure you have the balance. Like you need to be productive, and you don't want to be productive. That's really not easy. If you people were curious about music, I could just play a song, but I don't know if you all people can hear the music, but I'm just about to try. Let's see if you people can hear this. So, I'm just gonna check. I don't know if you heard this, but if I'm gonna check my video again, and when I check my video again, if he doesn't hear the piano, then I might have to interchange the microphone to the computer, and now you all can hear what I'm doing. Because I like to play music. Now, I'll be honest, I would not be that very much copywriting. But if there was a copyright music that you people might know, then please let me know. I will not take full credit of it. So, thank you. Because a lot of pianists love to play your songs, to be honest. So, thanks for watching. And I'm going to post another video and see if this works. Thank you.